Hola, hoy día 25 del 9 de 2018. Aquí pueden observar toda la porquería que larga este emisario al mar.
Todos los días de Dios.
Deberían de mandárselo a la casa de todos los políticos que tenemos en estas islas, que solo hacen engañar. Un saludo. Difundan este vídeo. Gracias.
Imagine if we could choose which kind of world we would like to live in. Imagine if the many big global issues of today would be resolved. Imagine that we would all have clean drinking water, enough healthy food growing on rich clean soil, and the natural balance of animal and plant life. Imagine that we would listen to those who know and care, and work together to resolve our daily challenges. Imagine we would all understand the importance of biodiversity, the many miraculous aspects of our natural world, and our modest place in it.
Humans, when they don't know how to continue the life cycle of a resource, they call it waste because they don't know how to manage. Nature always can close the cycle if we are not talking about synthetic substances, of course, but in some way the natural economy is circular. That's why the circular economy is so connected with nature, because it's the proper way not to produce waste, because it's unnatural. Bacteria, in some way, are the living beings more adapted to any situation you can find in nature. We can find different environments where bacteria can develop substances that we will use to other functions, because they transform organic into inorganic and inorganic into organic. They close the cycles of materials. Only bacteria can do it.
If we could make a small circular farm with a fully closed cycle. That would work if people could see it, if people could understand what it does, and if they could then copy it for themselves. This project, which is like an emulation of a little farm with sewage treatment and wastewater treatment and recycling and nutrition cycling and all that stuff. The idea of taking this small system as a proxy is that you could turn the same system into something big, like the sewage system for a big city, and then the cleaning system would be part of that industrial sewage system, where we grow all the grasses and the flowers and the stuff to feed the ducks. That would be the whole agricultural system of the region. So you'd reuse the nutrients as fertilizer for agriculture and for reforestation, for restoring the land, the agricultural land, to feed in turn again the city. Like most simple ideas, they can be quite complicated once you get into the technical detail. You need people who understand that everything ties together. Once you've got those people, then you can make this story simple enough for other people to emulate.
Mi nombre es José Luis Peraza Cano, mi profesión es ingeniero técnico industrial y estamos en Valverde, en la Isla del Hierro. Principalmente me dedico a los temas de energía. Dentro de estos temas de energía entran también los sistemas de depuración, que tienen una demanda de energía y una producción de energía. Y por eso una de las partes que profesionalmente me he dedicado es a la depuración. Yo me dedico principalmente a depuración natural, pero me es indiferente hacerla industrial o de cualquier otra.
I'm Eric Dahlhausen. I'm a physicist, petroleum engineer, climate change advocate and sustainability engineer. Mainly, I'm a technical integrator. I was looking for a company that connected sewage treatment to fertiliser, and I couldn't find any. Around that point, I came across Peraza, and he explained his natural cleaning systems. And that sounded like a really good idea.
I'm Michael Moss. I'm plant biologist, study miscanthus or energy grasses for last 12 years. While I was looking for agriculture, recycle and nutrient cycle, I met Eric, which introduced me to Peraza system, which is great example of the small and robust nutrients recovery system.
I am Fátima Campos. We are here in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. I studied chemistry. I did a master in environmental management, and recently I passed a PhD about soil engineering.
Using a circular farming system as a demonstration in a laboratory to improve the wasteful industrial methods. You would think someone would have thought of that before.
El inicio, la entrada, ahí en la entrada limpiar para que vea la entrada, limpiar un poquito aquí para que se vea la salida.
Si nosotros estamos ahí.
Al pasar por el biogestor, lo que sale del biogestor es un biol, es un abono orgánico. Un depósito donde se almacena para que los regantes ese abono orgánico se lo lleven. Los que quieran vienen, lo buscan y se lo llevan. Cómo está espumando, cómo está... Y tiene dos intercambiadores de calores independientes para poder jugar, ponerlo todo a la misma temperatura, una parte más fría, otra parte más caliente, ver todos los comportamientos que se puedan dar. Por regla general, las depuradoras de tipo natural no se consume ningún tipo de energía. No producen ruido y si están bien construidas, las naturales no producen malos olores. Y aparte no tienen el residuo sólido que tienen las depuradoras de tipo industrial. El lodo de rechazo de la depuradora tipo convencional lo degradan y es absorbido, una vez que está degradado, es lo que absorben, esos minerales son los que absorben las plantas. En una depuradora de tipo industrial, todos esos lodos hay que llevarlos a vertederos. Aparte, no es capaz de destruir las grasas, entonces las grasas hay que mandarlas a vertederos. Aparte de estas cosas que son físicamente que se ven, porque es tangible, existen los más de 40.000 compuestos orgánicos persistentes, que esos no hay manera de destruirlos, de descomponerlos en una de tipo industrial. Sin embargo, en estas de tipo naturales, como tienen la capacidad de poder descomponer, de volver a deshacer estos compuestos orgánicos persistentes que hablamos como antes, que eran antibióticos, pesticidas, etc. Es muy largo. Hay más de 40.000 y todos los días la industria química crea un montón más.
This small circular farm installation was in full function nearly 18 years ago on a Spanish island. Intended for research and demonstration, it incorporated, in approximate sequence, a pigsty for up to 150 pigs, including office space for research and analysis. The smell was kept away by washing out the manure several times a day. This went to an anaerobic digester of a specific stratified design, mimicking a range of natural processes and so minimizing residue and energy use and maximizing removal of various persistent contaminants. Most of the output stream, which wasn't taken off by the local farmers for fertiliser, then flowed into a primary biofilter, reducing the heavy nutrient load for the next stage. Open to air, a pond with floating islands, technically a deep wetland, with floating islands converting waterborne nutrients to greenery. This connected to the other side of the pond, where up to 20 ducks converted the greenery to eggs, meat and some more waterborne nutrients. The liquid flowed on, or in fact was pumped up, to a series of hydroponics gutters for growing lettuce and other desirables, meanwhile illustrating the remaining nutrient loading of the water. This was then followed by a fish tank, where tilapia fed on algae and other nutrients, and as a last cleaning stage, there was a final biofilter, which even included a small section with some tropical freshwater fish to demonstrate cleanliness. While the output was drinkable, it was used to irrigate the lush gardens of the compound.
This installation is so close to what we were looking for. It's even got the sampling points. It was built with education and data gathering in mind. The guy who developed it, José Luis Peraza, is still around, and he's been building natural sewage systems for 25 or 30 years. And above all that, the installation is still good enough to be restored. How cool is that?
This is the perfect starting point for the project. Working with a formally proven installation means the scope can quickly expand. So restore, describe and innovate, and maximize the sharing of relevant knowledge. First, this lovely little circular farm will be restored. While the structure is mainly still sound, most pipework, pond linings and access bridges need to be renewed and upgraded. Several pumps, a biogas generator and solar panels will need to be added. To prevent the earlier fate of abandonment, this will be financed by a crowdfunding campaign, which just started. A visitor information section and perhaps a tiny cafe will also be added so the installation funds itself. It will be nice to see the whole place lovely, lush and lively, especially knowing that once again the little farm will be a comfortable and happy home for great communities of bacteria. Describe how and why it works, write the manual and publish it, with special attention for scalability, so it can be made small or even very big, simplicity, so it can be made to work by many, variety, so it can be adapted to local conditions. The manual will give you the information needed to build one of these units, but it will also show you what's involved if you want to develop one for your city or your village. And the development forum can also provide support. Once the installation is up and running, a research consortium from 9 European countries is expected to kick off a range of studies about anaerobic digestion optimization, agricultural waste streams, fertilizer upgrading, life cycle emissions analysis, the water cycle, circular aquaponics, and biodiversity. On the more hands-on side, work will focus on optimizing and data gathering of the stratified digester process for both inputs and outputs, locally sourcing seasonal inputs to mix with the manure, developing effective, inexpensive instrumentation for process control, looking for simple ways to clean, compress and store the biogas, data gathering for regulatory compliance to get this natural treatment method into the mainstream, and updating the manual and the online forum on the way to encourage progress elsewhere. With a clear focus on circularity, allowing bacteria to do what they excel at, and applying honest, open, independent science to the practical application, some of the great global issues can be resolved.